Muy buenas tardes a todos y todas las personas que se están conectando a esta sesión informativa de Colfuturo con la Universidad de Carnegie Mellon. Mi nombre es Luisa Ayala, asistente del programa de Consejería Académica y Relaciones Internacionales, y los acompañaré en esta sesión junto a David Denenberg, representante de la universidad, quien nos contará sobre la oferta académica, requisitos de admisión, opciones de financiación y demás información relevante para iniciar sus estudios de posgrado en el exterior. Muy importante recordar que tenemos un convenio con esta universidad del 75% de descuento sobre el valor de la matrícula para máximo 5 beneficiarios de Colfuturo admitidos en programas de maestría. Este apoyo se prestará por un periodo de 3 semestres para estudiantes admitidos en Master of Information Systems Management y por un periodo de 2 años académicos para estudiantes admitidos en el resto de programas de maestría. Recuerden que pueden ir dejando sus preguntas y with no more introduction, thank you David for being here and share this useful information with all of us, and you can go ahead and start your presentation, please.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Luisa, and gracias, and hello to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Thrilled to be back. This is probably my 5th or 6th time giving a presentation to Colfuturo. And as I was sharing with Luisa earlier, I'm going to be returning back to Colombia, to Bogota in September, and that also will be my 5th or 6th time to come to the country. So I'm thrilled to continue our relationship with Colfuturo and continue our experience of bringing students from Colombia to Carnegie Mellon University. And so for today, what I wanted to do was share some information on a presentation related to graduate school and a peek behind the curtain and the way that you can put your best foot forward in the admissions process. So my name is David Denenberg. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admissions at Heinz College. I've worked with Heinz College and Carnegie Mellon for over 9 years and have been heavily involved in the recruitment process for many years prior to that. I was an international recruiter for another university prior to being at Carnegie Mellon. And while at Carnegie Mellon, I have worked with students in every one of our degree programs that we offer at the Heinz College. So I have been a liaison for both our policy programs, our arts programs, healthcare, and our technology side of the house. So as you start to learn a little bit about our programs and about what we have to offer, I want you to utilize me as a resource because I do want to be able to provide you detailed information on our programs, help you through the application process. So for today, what I want to do is cover both 2 main parts. I want to first talk about how you put your best foot forward when doing an application, things that you can do to stand out in your application. And then the second piece that we will cover is who is Carnegie Mellon University, the Heinz College, and our master's programs. And then finally, I'd love to open it up to a question and answer from you so that we can make sure that all of the questions that you may have here live on the line today can be answered. So we'll kick it off here with our first part, where we are going to talk about graduate school. And maybe first, the biggest piece of the conversation that you want to start with when you're thinking about graduate school is, why do you want to go? So there are 3 things that we usually find for why a student wants to attend graduate school. The first would be that they're thinking about changing their career path. Right. So maybe you already have a degree, you've started working, and you've learned new skills that you want to really build upon. And you find that you need that advanced degree to be able to make that transition to an unrelated field. We will help you build on top of your previously learned skills and pivot. Another option would be because maybe you find that it is career related. A large number of organizations are starting to require a master's degree or a professional degree, or you're finding that in order to go beyond an entry-level position, that you need to have a master's degree. And so therefore, career-related decisions may be why you want to think about graduate school. And then finally, to have a competitive advantage. We find that our students who have graduate degrees and masters, when they are in the job market, that they are more marketable than somebody who just has the bachelor's degree. So you're probably falling into one of these categories for why you want to attend graduate school. And I think they are all valid reasons to want to attend graduate school. Of course, maybe one other reason is because you want to earn more money. We have done some research and we have found through the Bureau of Labor Statistics that a student who earns a master's degree has over $1 million in additional career earnings over somebody who has a bachelor's degree. So we encourage you to also consider a master's degree to help increase your earning potential over the course of your career. Now, another reason when thinking about graduate school that you have to consider is when you want to go, right? So now you know you want to go to graduate school, but do you want to go right now or do you want to go later? So I would imagine here on the call tonight, we have students who are both currently in their undergraduate degree program, and some of you who may have been working for 1, 2, 3, or even longer number of years. And the question you want to ask yourself is, do I want to study now or do I want to study later? At the Heinz College, we find that about 20 to 30% of our students come directly from the undergraduate studies. And a benefit to coming direct from undergrad studies would be that your student skills are intact, your knowledge base is current, right? You may not be concerned with additional funding, like paying for children's daycare and a mortgage. And then you also have a strong sense of what kind of career you want, what you want to do as your end goal. That said, if you are working and you want to go to graduate school, or maybe you're in undergrad now and you're thinking about going to work first, an advantage and another thing you may find that you run into is that you have a better sense of career goals, right? So you take a job, but because of that job, you figure out that there are other things that you want to do. Of course, you're going to have a more mature outlook on your career and your life. The work experience will make the academic work broader in perspective. And also, we just find that other people tell you that you need to go. So again, maybe getting influence from an employer who says, now it's time for you to get that master's if you want to move up to that managerial or director position. So as you set out on your graduate search, these are some of the questions that you want to think about. We also want to have you ask yourself when deciding now versus then is, do I enjoy my field of study? Do I have enough to go on for graduate studies? Do I need a graduate degree or to get where I want on my career? Can I afford it? Am I burned out, right? Do I need to take a break? Or am I just using graduate school as an escape hatch? We don't want you to do that. So we want you to be asking these types of questions to yourself so that you know when is the right time and what type of program is the right program. So now that you've decided what kind of program, why you want to go, when you want to go, you want to think about what type of degree. So there are many, many, many postgraduate degrees that you can consider. There are master's degrees. Our degree falls under that category as a master's of science. You also have MBAs. Some of you might be considering PhDs, and some of you may even be thinking of other professional types of programs like a JD or an MD, that's for becoming a lawyer or a doctor. But as you consider what type of degree, you then need to think about, okay, how do I want to take this degree? Do I have a flexible schedule where maybe I can be doing it online versus in part-time versus a full-time degree program? Do I need experience to get into this particular degree program, or can I apply directly out from undergraduate studies? And then you want to think about the size of the program. So if you went to a very large university and you felt like you were lost, do you want a program that's a little bit smaller and more intimate, or do you like that very large, big city feel? What is the cost to attend? Do you have scholarship opportunities and fellowship opportunities to apply to? What are the professional development opportunities? Is it an applied degree? What does the student body look like? Are there other Colombians there at the campus that you can connect with? And then finally, the location and the setting. So do you see yourself being in a rural space, an urban space, a space that has affiliation with religion? So these are all types of, again, questions that you want to think about. But one of the things that you need to do to ask all of these questions and find this information out is collect it. Now, virtual admissions has been available for many years, but the pandemic actually brought the virtual connections to the forefront of perspective for students. So in spring 2020, The shift to virtual has now enabled admissions offices to build a more personal relationship with incoming students compared to previous years. So we encourage you to be an active participant in the admissions process and take advantage of opportunities that used to not exist. Also know, though, that follow-up is key. We want you to maintain connections, and we want you to make sure that you assess your experiences that you've had. So once you've kind of created that information, you want to know, what do you need to do to get in, and how to put your best foot forward in the admissions process. Now, keep in mind that this information that I'm going to share with you is unique to Carnegie Mellon and to Heinz College, but it also relates very closely with many other graduate programs that are out there. That being said, I encourage you to explore on the graduate school websites the specific admission requirements that each university requires. But at Carnegie Mellon, everything counts. So we run what's called a holistic application review process. What that means is that everything that you use to apply is used to then make an application and admission decision. We are not just looking at grades. We are not just looking at your letters of recommendation or previous experiences. Everything that you submit tells a story about who you are, what you provide to the program, how that program could be benefiting you, and why you are a good fit for Carnegie Mellon University. It tells the story of who you are as both an applicant and also as an individual. Now, while everything counts, there are, of course, things that you can do to improve the odds, right? So you could study and prepare for standardized tests. You can keep grades up. You can participate in research and independent studies. If you're going to be getting letters of recommendation from faculty, make sure they know who you are. You participate in office hours. If you're going to take a degree that has an applied piece to it, so internships, then you're going to want to make sure that you've done some internships previously to applying to show that you've had that kind of experience. Within our application, we actually allow you to write an optional essay where you can explain anomalies. So maybe you have a gap in your resume, or maybe there's a course that you didn't do so well in. You can use that optional essay to be able to fill in the gaps for the admission committee. We want you to be an active participant in the admissions process. So the more we know about you, the better. And of course, apply by the deadlines. So looking back here at the application checklist and knowing that everything counts, there are some things that you'll want to start to prepare for. You will want to go get your transcripts from your undergraduate university. If you have been attending university in Colombia or outside of the United States, you are required to participate in an evaluation process where you would have your home university send the transcript to an evaluation company. They will then convert the grades to the US grading system and send us both the evaluation and the official transcript. This can take some time, so I encourage you to start early on that process. For letters of recommendation, you want to have at least 2. We accept up to 3. And for those letters of recommendation, we want to see at least one that is academic and one that is a professional. So somebody who maybe supervised you in a full-time job or an internship, and then one being a faculty member from the university setting. While we do have that optional essay that I mentioned, we also have a traditional essay, and it's essentially a personal statement asking, who are you? What are you interested in? What do you see yourself doing in 5, 10, 15 years from now? And how can we help you get there? We do have a TOEFL and IELTS requirement for non-native English language speakers. So you'll want to explore that on our website. We've also recently expanded to allow Duolingo to be used. So you can take a look at that as an option that's a little bit cheaper. And then finally, the GRE and GMAT. GRE and GMAT is optional for 2024. So if you are considering not to take it, it is something that we are willing to still review your application without the GRE and GMAT. So the admissions process, high level, it's important for you to know and meet the deadlines. Manners count. So as you interact with the admissions office staff, know that they're always taking notes. And then finally, treat the admissions process like a job search. So that was a lot of information I covered, and that's because it's a lot of information that you're going to want to think about as you search for a graduate school and you apply for a graduate school. So take your time, start early. I'm happy that we're talking over the summer so that you have this kind of time to start to think about that. So we'll move into part two, where we're going to talk a little bit more about Carnegie Mellon University, Heinz College, and our master's programs. So Carnegie Mellon is located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and CMU is a top-ranked university overall that has a great reputation in a number of areas relevant to both students who are coming from all over the world. We are very proud of our rankings. We are #1 for information and technology, #1 for analytics. We are #2 for quantitative analysis, #2 for information systems, #7 for one of the most innovative schools. And the list goes on. So I encourage you to explore our website to learn about our rankings and all of the wonderful things that we're doing at Carnegie Mellon's Heinz College. Now, Heinz, though, is a unique place. While there are 6 colleges within the university setting, Heinz College is the only one that does not offer any undergraduate studies. What that means is that we have staff and programs that are dedicated to the graduate school experience. We only offer masters and PhDs. Now, Heinz College was founded in the 1960s by Bill Cooper on the premises that we educate our students for intelligent action. So intelligence means using technology and data. Action means implementing and leading people or organizations. And we have purposely created a co-location of 2 schools. You can see here on the screen, the School of Information Systems and the School of Public Policy. And this puts our students at the intersection of 3 different sciences: social sciences, decision sciences, and data science, with the end goal of training our alumni to work at the nexus of people, policy, and technology. And here you'll be able to see a breakdown of all of the various degree programs and experiences that we have available. So Heinz College is a center of academic excellence at the center of technology and society. And our faculty examine societal scale challenges that require expertise in policy, technology, and management. We focus on topics that involve people and their behaviors, public policy, analytics, technology, and the application can be seen in a wide variety of societal domains. So you'll be able to see here that we do everything from IT-enabled technology and policy implementation, urban systems and transportation, healthcare and information security and privacy, arts and entertainment, and many, many more. So these are the degree programs, and we'll go into them slightly more in depth in just a minute. But of course, as I mentioned, we are located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is a quick snapshot of Pittsburgh's downtown location, just about 10 minutes from CMU's campus. And Pittsburgh has a steel town reputation. It is, while it was a steel industry city, the city that actually built the United States, it has now been developed into a green city, very livable, affordable, walkable, and is an urban lab. Pittsburgh is a great place to work and study, especially for graduate students, because you get real world opportunities everywhere. Carnegie Mellon is the biggest show in town, and we leverage our reputation at the benefit of our students. So for example, we partner with the mayor's office on a number of projects. We partner with industry partners in technology, medical informatics, arts and entertainment, and we use the city as a test bed for our students' work. And finally, of course, the low cost of living definitely makes our city better. If you compare us to New York City, Chicago, California, it can't be beat. We've got great amenities, great restaurants, nightlife, professional organizations, college sports, and more. And so as we are talking about our programs, I want to share with you how our students and our faculty use Pittsburgh as a test bed or urban lab to look at building a smarter city and a community to improve the quality of life. So as I said, the mayor has allowed us to be the tests for many of the things that our students are working on. So some examples include smart and connected communities, Our students have been working on projects with ride sharing to solve spatial mismatch of people and jobs. You can also take a course on societal consequences of autonomous vehicles. Carnegie Mellon was the designer of AI and machine learning, and autonomous cars came out of Carnegie Mellon University. So you get to have access to expert faculty. If you're interested in the health technology field, students have been able to work on machine learning to predict and avert deadly sepsis infection. We work with big pharma on issues that are of global consequence. Within the information security and data, we have cracked the SSA's algorithm for assigning social security numbers, as well as trace vulnerability of voting systems, all which help with election fraud. And in addition to the course featured on the slide, a few other examples of technology and societal classes could include autonomous vehicle and city planning, education, future of work. There's a number of critical objectives in these courses. So we want to expose our students to how technology breakthroughs can transform various sectors and qualities of life. We want to give students an opportunity to develop recommendations under acute uncertainty and limited timeframes. We want to teach students how to anticipate and how anticipate the change and how human societal conditions might be affected. And we want to practice how to gather and apply expert input and opinion, and therefore then communicate it to our communities to make smarter decisions. That is what Carnegie Mellon University is. It's analytics, technology, and implementation. That is our secret sauce, our education formula, and we make a real world impact. Now, regardless of which undergraduate degree program you've come from, and regardless of which master's degree program you choose to study at Heinz College, you will all have the same foundation, the same core classes. You are going to take classes that are related to analytics, technology, and implementation. Courses like analytics are finance, economics, statistics, management science. Under technology, we have you coding. And then as far as implementation goes, we want you to get your hands dirty. We want you to be able to tell a story with the data. We want you to be able to have an internship. So every student, regardless of our program, is required to complete an internship between the first and second year of their degree program, as well as they complete a capstone project working with a real client and others from the degree program on a real project that they then present to that client as well as the faculty as their final project. So many, many opportunities for you to get your hands dirty and work with the data. Now, here's a few examples of human-centered innovation, several of which were actually initiated by our student capstone projects. So these are the capstone projects, while are educational, they've also turned into real things. So for instance, 412 Food Rescue was from an alum. Her name was Leah Lizarrando. She did a public policy program, and she actually created an app that connected restaurants and grocery stores who had excess food to be able to call essentially an Uber, pick up the food, and deliver it to shelters and food pantries around the city who needed food to be able to help feed those who were in need. We've also have students who work on capstone projects that help develop and enhance our 911 emergency phone number system. And more recently, we had students who worked with the city's airport to develop a precursor to TSA PreCheck. We've had students work with Access Paratransit, critical to helping meet the needs and transportation of elderly, as well as some who actually helped develop a brand new school within the city. So many, many fantastic opportunities related to all of our various degree programs. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our career services team, who is world-renowned, and I think is probably one of our secret recipes as well to success for our students. While you may have a career services office at your current university, you probably do not have one where you have an advisor who is specific to the degree program that you are studying. And that is what happens at Heinz College. Each of our individual degree programs have their own career advisor, somebody whose job it is to make relationships with employers for internships and for job opportunities. And that what sets us apart even more is that we also have our alumni services being held under the career services umbrella. So you're able to get connected through networking with our alumni in job opportunities and internships as well. Career Services is a lifetime service. They'll help you with everything from getting your resume ready to go, as well as interview techniques, meeting with employers, and more. So at this stage, what I will do is I will dive into our different degree programs and share with you a little bit about what it looks like to study in our programs. So the first side of the house that we'll talk about is our School of Information Systems and Management. We have 3 programs that we'll talk about today. One is the Master's of Science in Information Security Policy and Management. And the other is a Information Systems and Management degree, one that is a more general track and one that is a data analytics track. So our Master's of Science in Information Security Policy and Management, this particular program has been at Heinz for a very long time, and Heinz College and CMU has been a long-time national asset for cybersecurity. This is a growing field, and it's growing at an unprecedented rate. And with our blended technology, management skills, our security students are perfectly positioned to take advantage of this expansion. Now, on our information systems side, a MISM degree is essentially the combination between a School of Computer Science or a Master's in Computer Science and an MBA merged into one. We look at how do you use technology to influence business decisions. Our students come in understanding and knowing technology, so students do have to come in knowing object-oriented programming, either Java or C++. But then they are able to use that technology and sit in between those who are the hardcore programmers and those who are in the executive level C-suite. And our students are able to sit in between those two, helping to drive those executive level strategic decisions, discuss that with the programmers, and have the programmers' information then translated back over to leadership. And so you have to be a people person, but you also have to be a technology person. And that is why it's the perfect blend of computer science and business. Now we have the data analytics track of this, which is the same thing, but students do a comprehensive curriculum where they take advanced analytic work in machine learning, structured and unstructured data analytics, predictive modeling. And when combined with the core technology course, you're going to arm your expertise to become an influencer at your organization with the data right behind you. When you are looking at our Information Security Policy and Management program, as I mentioned before, we have our core, but then you also, outside of the core, have a lot of fantastic and fun electives to choose from. So you'll learn from leading practitioners within our CERT division. These are experts who impact national security on a daily basis, and you'll be able to move beyond the classroom and gain tangible skills. You're going to have work opportunities both on campus and off. You're going to have research and teaching assistant opportunities, and you're going to be able to have the chance to solve a real-world problem with a real-world client through the Capstone. So you'll be making meaningful connections through experiential learning and through your coursework. For the Information Security Management program, as I said, there are the 2 tracks, both which are based in Pittsburgh. But the biggest difference is that while we have the traditional track and the data analytics track, the traditional track has a lot of flexibility. You have your electives to be able to choose from a wide range of different areas, and so much so that you could even take a concentration, and I'll share those concentrations in just a minute. But if you are considering data analytics and you see that that is the pathway that you certainly want to go, then you don't have as much flexibility because you are going to be taking classes specifically related to data analytics and only data analytics. So you only have 1, maybe 2 classes outside of the analytics field that you'll be able to take as an elective. So if you choose to go with our traditional track, these are some of the specializations that you'd be able to take. Managing AI and robotics, software development, digital marketing and e-commerce, IT strategy and management, and then business intelligence. So if you're thinking you like analytics, but you don't want to go in a deep dive, you could do the traditional MISM with a BI concentration. These are great opportunities to dive into the curriculum, but not go so far in depth. If you do go to the MISM Beta track, then this is what that in-depth looks like. And when you are applying to the degree programs at Heinz, you need to pick which specific track you want to apply to. So as you start to explore our programs, do you know whether you want to apply to the traditional track or the beta track? While I mentioned object-oriented programming as a prerequisite, if you are applying for our beta track, you will also have a pre-enrollment requirement of relational database, so essentially SQL. As far as outcomes go, we want you to see here are some of our outcomes of our program. Our students go into a wide range of jobs related to technology, consulting, banking and finance, and information security. We're very proud to say that our average salary of a graduating student from our security program is over $100,000, with the median being somewhere in the range of about $98,000. And then for our Masters of Information Systems and Management degree, the average salary is also over $105,000, with students earning as high salary as $165,000. Students go into a wide range of different types of roles, and I encourage you to visit our website where we have our graduate statistics out there to show you the exact titles of the jobs our students are getting, the names of the employers who are hiring our students, and their salaries. Now we'll switch tracks here and talk about our public policy and management programs. We have 3 pathways for public policy and management. The first one is a traditional track where you're going to get a firm understanding of policy in addition to technology, analytic, and management skills. You have the opportunity to take up to 9 predefined areas or concentrations. But then if you are looking to have a little bit more of a defined curriculum, then maybe you're looking to use analytics and IT, such as machine learning and AI focused curriculum to use data and analytics to transform the organizations, not just say what you need to change, but use the data to make those changes. And then finally, we have a track that is a track where you study your first year in Pittsburgh and your second year in Washington, D.C. And this Washington, D.C. Track has students participating in an apprenticeship where you work about 36 hours a week in Washington, D.C., and then you take your classes in the evenings and over the weekends. And that's particularly for students interested in having a career that sees them working in Washington, D.C. So many opportunities for you for that program. As you can see here, the 3 tracks, these are the differences, mainly being the flexibility and then also the location for Washington, D.C. All of them are 21 months in length, and they all require an internship as well as the capstone. If you choose to do the traditional program, here are some of those concentration areas that you could explore. We have deep dives into data analytics, and we have campuses in both in Washington, D.C. that are also open to our public policy students to spend 1 or 2 semesters. Our concentrations are good options for students who want to do a deep dive into a particular field. You can choose to work with either a faculty leader who oversees this concentration or do some research with them. So you have a lot of opportunities to kind of create a curriculum that meets your goals. And this particular program, along with the internships, also has the capstones. And so these are some of those capstone projects that we've seen where students helped global leaders at the WEF to get ready for a future of work. We've had students working on the disruption of the opioid addiction, and finally, even using analytics to help fight illegal wildlife trafficking. So some really cool projects that you can get yourself involved with, take what you're learning and apply it. This is some of the outcomes for our public policy program. What's unique is that it is a bit of a generalist program unless you're doing those tracks. And so we have students going into such a wide range of everything from government to nonprofits, think tanks, consulting, and even for-profit businesses who want to have their hand in policy. So a lot of really incredible things out there. Now, we also have a healthcare. Let me see here if I skipped it over. I did not skip it over, sorry. So we also have a healthcare analytics program where we have students who are interested in healthcare AI and IT, where you want to be able to either work in a healthcare organization, healthcare consulting, or healthcare information technology. Now, unfortunately, we don't have as much time to dive into this particular program, but the slides you can see here are showing these outcomes so that you can get a sense of what those career goals might be. Similarly, we do have programs in the arts, and these are joint programs that are offered by the Heinz College as well as the College of Fine Arts. You'll find that there is no other arts administration program that's as unique and co-located with a fine arts college and a public policy and IS school. With this unique treatment, our students can leverage the assets of both colleges, and we use that formula with the Heinz treatment. So analytics, technology, implementation, and applied learning. The two schools offer two flavors. So we have the Heinz CFA programs will add that extra spice. And the key differentiator is something that the MAMs and NAMES bring to Heinz College. And this is unique for the School of Public Policy, School of Information Systems, and CFA. You'll also see that we have action-based learning influenced across a curriculum and a meta-curriculum. So internships, apprenticeships, capstones, research centers, labs, conferences, and festivals. So our students participate in Sundance, South by Southwest, service to industry, etc. So in terms of what those two arts programs are, there are two. One focuses more on the nonprofit arts side, and one focuses more on the for-profit arts. So our Masters of Arts Management is that nonprofit arts. You could find yourself working in everything from an orchestra to a theater company, dance companies, arts policy organizations, a museum or gallery, and you could be working in management, fundraising, marketing, artistic programming, education, community engagement, and more. On the for-profit side, we have our Masters of Entertainment Industry and Management. And you'll be able to see here that this is for students who are interested in working in the business side behind film, television, gaming, music. And you're going to, again, be working with everything from development to acquisition, distribution, representation, licensing, publishing, and some production as well. So some very cool programs, again, very unique across all of our degree programs at the Heinz College. So I already shared with you a little bit about our Heinz, the application process, but what I also wanted to share with you is that we do offer scholarship. So when you apply to our programs, and our application deadline is January 10th, your application materials that you use to apply are also then used to make merit-based decisions. So you can see in the screen here, there is a question that says, are you interested in merit-based funding? Make sure you answer yes to this question, because if you don't answer yes, we won't offer you any funding. So by answering yes, we'll be able to take all of your application materials and make a merit-based decision. Now that merit-based scholarship decision can also be stacked against a partnership scholarship, which you all have the benefit of taking advantage of Colfatoro's scholarship. So we have a scholarship with Colfatoro where every applicant who is affiliated with Colfatoro will get an automatic 30% scholarship guarantee. If you are then selected for the Colfatoro scholarship and funding, which I know is not going to come to you until later after our application decisions around May, once we know a student who was selected by Colfatoro, we will then adjust your scholarship from 30% to 75%. And our 75% tuition scholarship paired with what you would get from Colfatoro would pretty much close the gap and make your education experience fully covered. So we're very proud of this relationship that we've had with Colfatoro, and we do want to continue to promote it. I also want you to know that you're not the only one who has taken advantage of it. So these are 3 students who are, 2 of them are currently within our degree programs, and 1 just recently graduated. And so there have been many, many years of successful students coming into our degree programs. Here you can see Angela was working with the National Department of Planning. Now she's here at Heinz College. She's been a graduate research assistant. She's been working as a technology policy intern with a bipartisan policy center in Washington, D.C. Andres has done our Mism Beta program. He worked with Cementos Argos, and after he completed the degree, he is now working here in the United States as the director of U.S. pricing interchange at Visa. And finally, we have Tatiana, who is doing our entertainment industry management program. She was previously working in marketing at Invest in Bogota, and is now here at Heinz College. She has had experiences as a marketing intern with Cinema Sounds and Secret Podcasts, and is also a research intern at George A. Romero Foundation. So you are not alone. We have many students from Colombia and many students, both current and alumni, who have all come to us through Colfuturo. So we're very proud, again, of this relationship. As we wrap up here, I want to make sure that you have opportunities to learn more about us. As I shared earlier in the presentation, we are offering more virtual experiences than ever before. So take advantage of our website and attend an online information session. We're going to have lots of program-specific webinars with our program directors. We like to do panels with current students so you can hear about the student experience. And we will also be hosting a fall visitation program in early November, where you could either come and travel to Pittsburgh, or you can join us online for all of those sessions. So we encourage you to continue the conversation and learn more about us by connecting with our students, our faculty, and our staff online. You can also schedule a one-on-one visit. We offer Zoom calls with our staff here in the Office of Admissions, again, the open house. But there's a few other resources that I'd like to share with you. You'll be able to find contact information on our website for our Carnegie Mellon Colombian Student Organization. Many of the students whose pictures I just showed you are active board members in that organization. And so you could reach out to them about their experience, as well as an organization called DPMP, Diversity and Policy Mentor Program. So if you are applying to any of our policy-related degree programs, the CDRI is an organization that will actually help applicants with their application to Heinz College. They will read your essay, and they will help you to provide some feedback on things that might help you to be successful in your application to Carnegie Mellon University. They do that outside of the admissions office, and we are not familiar or aware of who utilizes this service, but it is a service that we do provide to help students from diverse backgrounds, various countries who are interested in policy to strengthen their application. Another way that you can come and learn more is by possibly, if you're located in Bogota, just walk out your front door. I will be traveling to Bogota in November. Actually in September. I don't know why it says November there, but I'll be traveling in September. I'm going to be participating in the Education USA Graduate Schools Fair on September 20th. And following that, the next day, I'm actually going to be in person with Colfuturo, 7 p.m. at their offices for a second presentation. But I'm also going to be hosting a coffee chat. And that's going to be on Thursday, September 21st, 2023 from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. I'm going to be buying coffee and pastries for anybody who comes to show up. And I invite all of you here on the line today to join us. So if you take a picture of that QR code, it will take you to the registration link, and it will give you all the reminders for when that session is coming up. It's located in Zona G at a fantastic little coffee shop that I love. Take a picture of this slide or write my information down. At the very top of the slide here, you'll see we have our general admissions email address. And then down below, you'll find my direct email address. And I'm happy to take any questions from you and anyone who's here on the line. So Louisa, do we have any questions that are out there?
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. We do have some questions. So the first one is, what would be a minimum expected grade to have a chance of being considered for admission?
Lisa, or did I get lost here? Oh, are we there now?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we either you or I lost the internet connection for a second.
Okay, so let me repeat the first question.
Thank you.
Sarah is asking, what would be a minimum expected grade to have a chance of being considered for admission?
You submit to us is used to make a decision and to help us to learn more about you as the applicant. Now, that being said, we do have some statistics on our website and class profiles where you can see more information about the average GPA an admitted student had. Sure, certainly. Sorry about that. So I was just saying that on our website, we have class profiles where you can see the average grades that a student had earned who is enrolled in our degree program. But know that those are just averages and that we really run a holistic review process, and we want to learn about you as the applicant, and everything that you submit to us in the application we use to make a decision.
Okay, so the next question we have is, if I want to do a civil engineering master, should I have to do the GRE or that is optional?
That's a good question. So as you saw that today, I am presenting on the Heinz College, and the engineering department is separate from the Heinz College. So Carnegie Mellon is decentralized, and the College of Engineering is separate from our programs. So unfortunately, I cannot speak to those particular degree programs, and I would encourage you to reach out to the admissions office for the College of Engineering to see what their policies are.
Okay, we have another question from Sarah. She's saying, in Colombia, we have a pre-master's graduate programs averaging 28 to 32 credits and lasting 1 year. In my case, my grades in the specialization are higher than those in my undergraduate program. Could they be considered for admission?
Yes, they will. When we ask students to apply, we ask for all levels of education that you have studied. And the only transcript that is required is the bachelor's degree. However, if you've done other degrees or other courses, we want to know about them. And we want you to submit the transcripts unofficially for those so that we can still see and understand your education background. Also, I will say that while maybe your grades were not great for the bachelor's, we know that a bachelor's degree is a hard degree, especially coming from the high school level, because it's new and you're alone and it's all on you to learn how to study. And so as long as we're seeing a story within your grades to show maybe you didn't just do so well at the beginning, but you started to figure it out and you got better, that's okay. That's a story that we want to see. And again, we're looking at everything, all of your internships, individual courses that you've taken that are related to the degree program and more.
Okay, so Juan is asking if you could show the slide of cost and English requirements again, please. And
Yeah.
also, if you have any financial aid, I know that you mentioned at the end, but maybe you could repeat that.
Yes, so here is the costs are not listed on these pages, but here you can see some information about the scholarships. Again, a guaranteed 30% scholarship for all students applying who are affiliated with Colfuturo. And then those who are selected for the Colfuturo funding are then adjusted to have a 75% scholarship. And so it is between our funding and what you would receive from Colfuturo, it certainly helps to close the gap and make the education more obtainable. The other part of that question was related to, can you repeat the beginning of that question?
Yeah, if you could show the cost and English requirement.
The English requirements, right. So I don't have the costs on any of the slides here, but I'm happy to have you reach out directly to me and I can get you the link where you can see the full breakdown. So please feel free to send me a message. But as far as the language requirements go, again, it's TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. For TOEFL, we want to see a score of 25 or higher on all 4 sections. For the IELTS, we're looking for a 7 or higher on all 4 sections. And then Duolingo is newer for us, so you'd have to go onto our website to see the breakdown because each section is slightly different. These are the scores that I just shared with you are suggested, but you can actually have scores below that and still get admitted. So if you go onto our website, you'll be able to see that full breakdown of each of the exams and the scores that are required.
Okay, so the next question we have is, are all the programs full-time or are the part-time or online programs?
Yes, so all of the programs that I shared with you today are full-time programs. The MISM program is the shortest, which offers there are two options for MISM. One is a 12-month program where you must have 3 or more years of work experience to apply. And that particular program does not require an internship. It's very fast-paced, no breaks. But then we have your traditional MISM and your beta tracks, which are 16 months. And so you have your first 2 semesters, your summer break, and then 1 final semester. And that does require the internship. All the other programs that we offer that I shared with you today are a total of 2 years, total of 4 semesters. We do have some part-time programs. However, I don't believe the Colfuturo funding is available for part-time programs. And so if you're thinking about a part-time program, and especially ours, which is fully distance learning, we'd want to have a separate conversation about that.
Sí, correcto. Completando eso, Colfuturo solo permite que los programas sean de tiempo completo y totalmente presenciales. Entonces, we have another question. Can I send the English test after January 10?
Great question. Yes. So the only things that need to be submitted by January 10th is the online application itself, the contact information for your recommenders, your essay, and your resume. Everything else can come after that date, but we do encourage you to try to get it sooner than later because your application will not be reviewed until it is complete.
Okay, we do not have more questions, but to end, I would like to ask you, what makes a strong candidate for this kind of programs?
Really good question. So we are looking for students who have clear and defined goals. This is a professional master's program, and our goal for a professional master's program is for a student to graduate and to get a job in the specific field that they are hoping to achieve related to our degree program. In order to do that, in order to have that specific goal, we want you to make sure that you have done your research, that you explore the outcomes of the degree programs, that you know what the curriculum looks like. And when you do all of that, it will also then help you to write your essay and help you to help our office understand why you are the right fit for our degree programs. Fit is so important, and it is really, I've seen students who applied who had a perfect test scores, perfect grades, and they still were not admitted because they were not the right fit. So we really want to see a student who's active in the admissions process, that they've learned our programs, that they've spoken with us, the admission advisors, so that we can help them to apply to the right program and put their best foot forward in the application process.
Well, thank you very much, David. This presentation was amazing, and thank you for answering all the questions. We really appreciate you taking your time with us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. And again, I look forward to seeing anyone who wants to join us for our in-person Colfuturo presentation in September 21st, as well as coffee chat on September 21st. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing you all soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, David.